Day 2 of Operation Backtrack in Royce City, Texas comes to an end. Still no sign of wanted Arkansas fugitive Brian Freeman or his remains, but the search is far from over. We have team coverage tonight. Rochelle Turner has reaction on the ongoing search efforts from the victim's mother. But we begin with my co-anchor, Kevin Kelly, who has been with the U.S. Marshals in Texas since the operation was launched. He brings us exclusive coverage of today's search efforts.
News certainly travels fast, especially in a small town like Royce City, Texas. Take a look. Operation Backtrack making the front page of the local newspaper. As for today, search teams and cadaver dogs back at it again, crisscrossing through wooded areas, open fields, and muddy streams looking for anything related to Brian Freeman, and that includes his remains. Take a look at what we shot earlier today. The search a bit different from yesterday's. Teams started at ground zero. That's where Freeman's truck was found abandoned 4 days after authorities say he murdered Lori Hanna inside her home in Ward, Arkansas back in March of 2017. U.S. Marshals believe he committed suicide somewhere in these woods. And that theory is based on two facts. First, every single lead Marshals have received and investigated over the past 2.5 years has led to a dead end. And secondly, his last known phone call to a female friend of his was made from this wooded area. And the phone call itself was very specific.
So when he made the phone call to a female acquaintance of his, he told her that he had done a horrible thing, said that he was somewhere in Texas, said he had abandoned his truck, said he'd walked away from it, had walked into a wooded area, and that he intended to kill himself. He then asked this person to say a prayer with him, which they did, and he made the comment, he said, "I hope God forgives me for this."
Teams were able to cover several of the remaining sectors of the search area today. In fact, while we were out, a cadaver dog did alert on this abandoned shack not far from where Freeman's truck was found, but it didn't result in anything. So far, 85% of the search area has been covered. Now, tomorrow, teams will once again hit the ground running, covering the remaining 15% of the sectors that still need to be covered, and hopefully they will come across something that will give them an indication that Brian Freeman is out in those woods. We'll keep you posted on that. One interesting side note, while we were out today, tips were still coming in to the tip line. In fact, one lady called last night and said she saw Freeman at a local bar. Then again this morning, a waitress called the tip line saying she served him breakfast and that he went by the name Joe. Those two tips are fresh and will be thoroughly investigated. We'll keep you posted on that as well. In Royce City, Texas, Kevin Kelly, back to you in the studio.
All right, Kevin, thank you.